Hi everyone, I'm Shivani from IT Code Skills. In the last session, we have seen recursion. What is recursion? So, recursion is a function which calls itself again and again. So, I have explained recursion by using the cabbage problem. In this session, we are going to discuss on one problem statement using the recursion. Okay, that is nothing but the Josephus problem. Let's see Josephus problem. Okay, so let's read the question. There are n people standing in a circle. How many persons? N persons. Okay. So now n means n number of people. That may be 1, 2, 3, 4 or so on. So there are n people standing in a circle waiting to be executed. The counting out begins at some point in the circle and proceeds around the circle in a fixed direction. So the direction is what? Fixed. In a step, a certain number of people are skipped and the next person is executed. So in a step, there are certain number of persons we have to skip and the next persons will be executed. The elimination proceeds around the circle, which is becoming smaller and smaller as the executed people are removed, until only the last person remains, who is given freedom. So, if you want to solve any coding question, we have to follow the 4 criteria. Okay, so let me explain you that 4 criteria to you. So the first one is nothing but the understand the problem statement. Okay, if you are not able to understand the problem statement, you are not able to apply the logic for that question. So very first step is we need to understand the problem statement. Okay, now the second one. So if I'm talking about the second one, we have to think about the logic. So now logic building. You can draw the diagram based on the questions, apply the logic. Okay. Then you need to know the programming language, any programming language. So I'm writing here programming skills, and then you need to code. Okay, the very first step is we have to understand the problem statement. Once you understood the problem statement, then you can apply the logic to that particular problem statement. Okay, so second is the logic building. Third, once you understood the logic, you can write the program. Okay, but to write the program, we need to know what is programming language. So we need to know the basic concept, whatever, like looping, recursion, anything which is based on the particular programming language and the coding. Okay, so these are the 4 particular criteria we need to understand to solve any problem statement. Okay, now I'm moving to my question. So, in the first paragraph, we need to understand what is the first paragraph. So, let me explain you with the help of one blank slide. Okay, so let me draw the circle here. Okay, as in that, this is a circle. So, there are n people standing in a circle. So, in our program, let's take the n value as a 7. So, 7 person is standing in a circle. So, I'm taking n value as 7. Okay, so let me take the 7 person. 1, 2, 3. This. We have n value as a 7. Okay, so 7 persons standing in a circle, and we have k value as what? 3, which we have given in the problem statement. Okay, so now you can take any value. Now the counting out begins at certain position which we have given in the question. So I'm starting it from the 1. Okay, and the direction is fixed, so I'm taking the clockwise direction. Okay, so you can take clockwise or anti-clockwise, but direction should be a fix. Okay, now every k person is killed. Okay, so we have k value as what? 3. So every k person we have to kill in a circle, and every k minus 1 person we have to skip. So if we are starting from the 1, we have to include 1 as well. So if we are starting from the 1, so we have to skip first 2 persons. So 1 itself first person and 2 is the second person. So we have to skip 1 and 2 and we have to kill the third person. So is the third person 3, right? Now what will I do? I will kill every third person which is in the circle. So from 1 is the first person, second 2 and 3 is the third. We have to include first person as well. Okay, do not forget. So what I am going to do, the 3 is killed. Okay, so I am writing who is killed first, 3. Now from 3, who is the next third person? We have to skip 4 and 5. K minus 1 person, so 3 minus 1, that is 2. So I skip this 4 and 5 and the next third person, k value is 3. So next third person is 6. So we have to kill the 6. From 6, who is the next third person? 7 is the first person, first is the second person and 2 is the third person. So we have to kill the 2. Now from 2, this is very important to understand. From 2, who is the next third person? Okay, think about it, already 3 is killed. So we have to not consider the 3. Okay, so 4 and 5 we have to skip. So the next third person will be 7. So we have to kill the 7. Now from 7, who is the next third person? 1 is not killed. So we have to skip 1 and 4 because 2 and 3 is killed. So from 7, 1 is the first person, 4 is the second and 5 is the third person. So we have to kill the 5. Okay. Now from 5, from 5, who is the next third person? 1 is the second person, 1 is the first person, 4 is the second person and again 1 is the third person. So we have to kill the 1. Now everyone is killed. Okay, except 4. 4 is surviving the last in the circle, and what we have to find out, who is the person, those who survive in the last. So we have answer, that is 4. Okay, so our output is 4 and that is we have given here. So we are correct here. Now you can solve this problem, okay, Josephus problem, with the help of different approach. Okay, you can use the for loop or you can use the recursion. Okay, you can use any strategy to solve this question. Okay, so if we're solving this using recursion, we need to understand the now logic. So you understood this logic, we have to implement this logic in the programming. Now students, let me tell you the cases. Okay, and you have to tell me what will be the different answers from you. Suppose if there are only one person standing in a circle. Okay, if there are if there are only one person standing in a circle. Suppose you have n value as a 1. Then who will be surviving the last? Think about it. If there are only one person survive in the circle. Once again, I'm telling you, if there are only one person standing in the circle, then who will be surviving the last? Only one, because the last person we have only, that is 1. Only one person standing in a circle. Okay, so that's why what will be the answer? That is 1. Okay, so how will you apply this? I will explain you using the recursion concept. Now suppose you have n value is 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. Then who will be surviving the last? Okay, we have to use the recursion approach and we have to solve using recursion. Okay, so if there are more than one person, we have to use, either you can go ahead with the for loop or you can use the recursion. Okay. Okay, then let's solve this Josephus problem using recursion. So students, whenever you want to write any project, so use project names related to your concepts. Okay, so now let me create a project, Java project. I'm using Eclipse ideally. So here I'm giving the project name as, okay, I'm writing problem statement. Okay, so our project name is problem statement and daily we'll discuss some problem statements. So I'll create a different problem statement name as a class name. So let me click add project to working set. So as core Java 8 version I'm using, so that's why Java standard edition 1.8 and the finish. Now here you will get the project problem statements. I'm going to SRC. So whenever you're creating any class, before the class create the package. Okay, so it is a good practice, or it is very secure. So I'm giving the package name. Okay, go to name and create a package. So whenever you're using the package name, use your domain name. Okay, so I'm using IT code skills dot. Okay, so first it is based on the problem statement, that is recursion. So I'm using here sub package name as a recursion. Okay, IT code skills is my particular domain. So com.itcodeskills.recursion, let's click on finish. Okay, so I have used com.itcodeskills as a domain. Now here let me create one class, and I'm giving the name of the class related to my class name or the problem statement. So Josephus problem statement. Okay, now let me include the main function. I'll click on the finish. Let me minimize from the project explorer. So whenever you are writing any code, use the comment whenever there is a necessary. Okay, so before the class name I'm using the comment. Program to demonstrate on Josephus problem using recursion. Okay, so this is a single line comment as it requires only one line comment. Now let's use one function. Okay, so I'm using the function, or we can call it as a method, outside the main function. Okay, now and then we'll call that function or method inside the main function. So what I'm going to do, let me use the one function name, void Josephus. You can use any function name, survive, whatever. Okay, so let me use survive last or survive, whatever you can keep. What we have to pass as a parameter, we have to pass how many persons standing in a circle, and we have to kill every kth person, right? So we have to pass the two parameter. First is the n person and second is the k value. Okay, now here I'm using my logic. Okay, so now students, if there are only one person standing in a circle, then who will be survive in the last? Only that single person. So we have to return 1. Okay, else we have to think about it. Okay, now return. So what we have to do? If there are n persons standing in a circle. Okay, now when you are using the return, you have to change the return type for your method. You have to go ahead with the integer. Okay, if it is void, then you need not to use return. Okay, but if we are returning something, then we have to change the return type of any method from void to int. Okay, or if it is string type, you can go ahead with the string. So now what I'm going to do, so we have to think about if there are, and okay, if there are not a single person standing in a circle, if there are 2 person, 3 person and so on. So in such case, what we have to do? Okay, so what we have to do, I will call that function again and again. Which function? Survive function. So what I'm going to do, survive. Okay, we are in elimination round. If you are, see, now there are n people standing in a circle. So in the first elimination round, if you eliminate the, if you have k value as a 3, okay, so if you eliminate the third person, now how many person are standing in a circle if you kill one person in the first elimination round? N minus 1 person, right? So what will I do? In each elimination round, you are eliminating a single person, and who is the surviving? N minus 1 person surviving in the circle. So we have to use n minus 1 person and you are killing every kth person, right? Okay. So in each elimination, in each round, we are how many persons surviving in the circle? N minus 1 person. Okay, and we are killing every kth person. Now, what I am going to do, let me take in the bracket. We have to skip k minus 1 person. Okay. So in the last example, we have took k value as a 3 and n as a 7. Okay. So, and we have to start, okay, out of how many person? So, out of n person. So, let me take the modulo. Why modulo? Because modulo notifies that remainder. Okay, if you divide any person, if you use the division operator, it will give you the quotient value. But if we use the modulo, it will give the remainder value. And what we have to find here, who is surviving the last? That is remainder. Okay, so that's why I'm using here modulo. Okay, and we have to start from specific position. So I'm using the 1. Okay, so that is we have to start from position 1. Okay, so survive of n minus 1. N minus 1 denotes that in each elimination round, n minus 1 persons are remaining. Okay, and we are killing every kth person and we are skipping k minus 1 person. Okay, so here my survive bracket is closed, and out of how many person? N and the plus 1. So now here I will give the user input value using scanner. Scanner is new scanner system.in. So let me pass the n value and k value. Integer k is equals to s dot next thing, and I'm calling, okay, use sysouts to print the value because you're returning, you are not printing. So use the sysouts statement and then call the survive and pass n and k value. Okay, now make sure that this survive function is outside the main method. So if you want to call inside the main method, either you have to create the object for this Josephus problem statement class, or we have to make this method as a static. Okay, so I'm making this method as a static. Okay, so if any method or function is outside the main function, and if you want to call inside the main function, either you have to create the object for that particular class or you have to make that particular method as a static. Okay, so now we are not getting any error. Let's check if our n value is 7. Okay, if our n value is 7 and k value is 3, we will check whether we are getting the output as 4 or not. So I'm just running the code. I'm passing k value as n value as a 7 and k value as a 3. I'm getting 4. Okay. So let's run once again. Run as Java application. I'm passing n value as a 5 and k value as a 2. I'm getting output as a 3. Okay. So we will see this n value 5 and k value 2 and output whether we are getting 3 or not with the help of that circle problem using our this logic. Okay. Using this logic. Okay, so let's see the problem. Okay, if we have n value as a k, if we have n value, we have n value as a 5 and k value as a 2, we'll check whether we are getting the output as 3 or not. So we have n value as a 5 and k value as a 2. Okay, so in our problem statement, if n value is equal to 1, we have to return 1. So now we have to check what is our n value, not the 1. So we have to come into the else part. So we have to call the survive function, survive n minus 1. Okay, so what will I do? I'll come into here. Okay, so we have n value as a 5. So 5 is equal to 1. No, come into the else part. So I'm returning survive. Okay, I'm writing in short. SOR, survive in short. N minus 1. What we have n value? 5. 5 minus 1, 4. And k value we have a 2. Okay. And we have to skip k minus 1%. So we have k value as a 2. 2 minus 1, that is 1. Okay. So now we have out of n%. So what is the previous n value? That is 5. So I'm writing here 5 and we have to start from the first position. So next we have n value as a 4 and k value as a 2. So 4 is equal to 1. No. Come into the else part. Survive of n minus 1. So our n value is now 4. 4 minus 1, 3. K value will be as it is. K minus 1 also as it is. Out of n%. So what is our previous n value? That is 4. So take the 4 and we have to start from fixed position, that is 1. Okay, now our n value is 3. So 3 is equal to 1. Come into the else condition. Survive of. Okay, so now 3 is equal to 1. No. So come into the else part. So that is 3 minus 1, which is 2. K value will be as it is. K minus 1 also as it is. What is the previous n value? 3. And start fixed position, that is 1. Now our n value is 2. So 2 is equal to 1. No. So come into the else part. So 2 minus 1, that is 1. K value will be as it is. K minus 1 is also as it is. We have, and what is our previous n value? 2. And fixed direction, that is 1. So now my n value is 1. So 1 is equal to 1. So if you check the statement, 1 is equal to 1. So what we have to do? We have to return 1. So we have to solve according to our Bodmas rule. Okay, so we have discussed till here. Now recursion's approach use bottom to top down. Okay, bottom up approach. Now okay, so we have n value is 1. So if n value is 1, so we have to return 1, right? So this survive of 1, 2 function returns 1. Now 1 plus 1, 2, 2 mod 2, 0. So if you divide any number by 2, okay, now if you divide 2 by 2, what will be the remainder? 0, because modulo always give you the remainder value. So 2 mod 2, 0, 0 plus 1, 1. So we have to use 1 to survive of 2, 2. So survive of 2, 2 value will be 1. So 1 plus 1, that is 2, 2 mod 3. If you divide 2 by 3, what will be the remainder? 2. And 2 plus 1, that is 3. Okay, so as recursion uses the bottom up approach, so this 3 value assigning to survive of 3, 2. So 3 plus 1, 4. 4 mod 4, 0, 0 plus 1, 1. So this 1 value will be assigning to survive of 4, 2. So 1 plus 1, 2. So if you divide 2 by 5, so your answer will be what? What will be your remainder? Modulo always give you the remainder value 2. So 2 plus 1, 3. And 3 will be what? Survive of 5, 2. Okay. So n value is 5 and k value is 2. So 3 will be passed to survive of 5, 2. Okay, so our answer is 3 when n value is 5 and k value is 2. If there are n 5 persons standing in a circle and we have to kill every second person, then the output will be 3. 3 will be survive in the last.